Welcome everybody to another episode of Fantasy News. I am your disheveled goblin host Daniel Green, and today we have just more insanity to get through in terms of news, as well as some just standard badass cover news and things along those lines. But for now, let's just give our thoughts on a really complex situation, and please keep in mind this is a developing one where all parties involved have not made public statements, but it's looking pretty bad. Once again, author Xiranjay Zhao is making headlines in response to their book being delayed by their publisher, and Xiranjay Zhao has said publicly that this is in response from their publisher, Tundra Books, in regards to the comments they have made into the ongoing genocide happening in Palestine. What we have learned since this initial statement was given by Xiranjay Zhao is that the publisher is not directly delaying the book, but instead Xiranjay Zhao is alleging that they are withholding their line edits in an attempt to silence them, therefore most likely resulting in the book Heavenly Tyrant being delayed. Now, of course, not only am I against a person being silenced, if you as a publisher do not want to work with someone anymore because of their beliefs, I think you should have every right to remove them from your label. But doing something like this while you're maybe making moves to do that, or anything along these lines,
you look like shit, acting all crazy.
That is not how you should approach this situation, and I feel terrible for an author who wants to get their fans a book now having to just sit there with no progress being made while their material is being withheld from them. And while yes, Xiranjay Zhao has come out publicly about this on Twitter, they don't seem to be trying to make Tundra Books do anything in terms of joining them and speaking out about this cause, but instead just want to continue down the path to getting their book published, to which Tundra Books has responded with legal papers. Allegedly, we have not seen anything from Tundra Books or the legal papers in question, though I'm keen to believe Xiranjay Zhao in this situation because it is an insane thing to lie about. I think the biggest takeaway though at the end of this story for just all of us as a whole is no matter how much a company you are working with or a consumer to tries to come across as progressive, etc., it is almost always about money at the end of the day. We have all seen cringy ad campaigns and companies trying to appear like they're progressive while paying their employees well below living wages, and in my opinion, this just seems like a latest version of that. They want to be able to benefit off an author like Xiranjay Zhao, who has a platform because of their opinions, but not actually follow up and continue writing with them when things get even the least bit turbulent for them. Before we move into the rest of the news stories today, a quick word from today's sponsor. Time to look good and fall in love. Cupid! Got a favor to ask. Chris Kringle told me that you really knocked it out of the park with one of your holiday gifts. Oh yeah, Holtzgert. That's the one, baby. You see, I've been looking at the tapes. Tapes? What tapes? Just shut up. I've been thinking they would be the perfect gift this Valentine's Day. I don't think I signed off on any tapes. Roll them!
The substantial watch from Holtzkern's Mastery Collection. A solar tech-powered watch with a stunning gray frame and inlaid with mother of pearl.
When did you film this?
And let's not forget the Achiever shades, polarized glass lenses, UV 400 protection, and a rich Patek wood frame that is FSC certified, so you can feel great knowing you're not contributing to deforestation.
Sexy.
Holtzkern has everything from watches to jewelry to sunglasses to stunning unique cases, all partially made from natural materials. It's the perfect gift for a special someone in your life.
Now, I want to spread the love. So here's what I'm thinking. Valentine's Day partnership. I don't need another video.
Holtzkern is offering free express worldwide shipping for members of the Goblin Horde.
All right, sounds great. I'm signing off on it.
Custom fees are handled by them too, so you've got nothing to worry about.
I'm signing off on it right now.
They've even guaranteed shipping until Valentine's Day if you place your order before February 11th. And use the promo code Daniel15 to get 15% off your purchase.
So, are you in? I already signed off on it during the montage. Back to the video. And I'm happy to say the next piece of news we're going to be covering here today is from a fantasy legend, because we are getting a new release from Raymond E. Feist titled A Darkness Returns, to be released August 20th of 2024. Now, this book was announced a little bit ago, but today we officially got the UK cover that will be available across the pond. Sorry. With the official announcement tweet from Waterstones reading, "From fantasy titan and author of the Rift War and Dark War sagas, Raymond E. Feist comes a spectacular epic new series set in a shadowy, sublime world full of magic in danger. And it always kind of tickles me that whenever they do the announcement tweets for the already established big authors, it just sounds like the most vague description of a fantasy world almost all of the time. I get how marketing works and you absolutely want to capture as many of their fans as possible, and unfortunately I wasn't able to find the cover artists for either release after quite a bit of Googling, so this announcement and rollout overall gets a D. I love it because it's Raymond D. Feist. I probably will read it and get you more Raymond D. Feist reviews in the future. But if you are literally doing the cover reveal for the UK edition, who did the cover? Now I want to make this abundantly clear why this is important to me, because I inevitably get asked, Daniel, why is it a big deal? Who cares that these artists aren't necessarily getting the credit? They're working artists. One,
stop with that.
And two, I want to show you. I want to give the person credit because it's important to me. But sometimes it's like trying to find Waldo in Tokyo, man, because I go to the publisher's websites because about 50% of the time on the listing of the book, the artists will be actually credited. But the other 50% of the time, I have to start going seeking through the wilderness of the internet, where, somewhere, the artist could be attached to this cover. That means I have to reverse image Google search and see the first time it was ever posted, which, again, most of the time does not credit the artist. So let's give an example of this specific cover from Raymond D. Feist. I then decide, let's just do a look of everywhere this cover has been posted because it was just released and it's not that many places. And not one single one credited the artist that I could find. So I went to Raymond D. Feist's fucking website, which is adorable. I love this website so much, and I'm believing it's the official Raymond D. Feist website because it says it in the top corner, and it's got this adorable picture of Raymond D. Feist in the other corner, and I really like that. And look at this Facebook logo. I don't know how they messed that up in 2023, but it's messed up. And so I go searching through this 2000s blog of a site and find something that gives me a beacon of hope. Raymond D. Feist, the godsend of fantasy that he is, has a section on this website titled Artist's Corner. Yes! I go there, and there isn't one artist who's credited with shit. And now I noticed back on the first place I went to, there was a post about A Darkness Returns. And I thought, oh, he'll say it in the text here. Nope. And there's a recent blog post, though, that's even saying A Darkness Returns cover. Fantastic. He's gonna, no, not there either. Nowhere here does it have it. But I'm doing my job to the best of my ability, damn it. And I noticed under the Rift War Cycle section of this blog, which is not where the A Darkness Returns is going to be talked about, there is something about covers. I go there and I find these two beautiful people who are credited for a bunch of Raymond D. Feist's covers. And one of them, by the way, no art is shown. It's just talking about how in Hungary they're there. But the other artist, it does show they specifically are doing a bunch of Raymond D. Feist artwork, and a lot of them do look similar to the US version of this cover, but not the UK version. Ha! So, what I realized though is when I click on this artist page and see them, I see under the Arts Corner, it's actually embedded in the website, which means there had to have been a link I just missed in this page that's actually going to take me to these artists, which gives it more credit to this website than I originally did, except if I go back to the Artist Corner, there's no hyperlink to take me here. None. So at the end of the day, I don't know who did the UK version of this cover still. I kept looking and looking, refusing to believe I would not be able to find who made the UK version of this cover. And I finally found one tweet from Harper Voyager UK where they credit Larry Rostant as the cover artist for A Darkness Returns. So we now know for sure who the UK cover artist is. But in terms of the US cover artist, I have absolutely no goddamn idea. I come before you all, a humbled man. I reached out to my Twitter audience and I asked, who can find out who made the US version of this cover? I will send you $1, and by God, the Goblin Horde delivered. I love you all. It turns out it's the same artist who did both, and I just needed to scroll further to see that, and I feel like a moron. I still absolutely have a point that they do not credit artists properly, and I will even throw in here, someone found out Raymond E. Feist, he couldn't even tell you who the cover artist was when they first got delivered the book, and he posted it, which, to be honest, is completely fine. I don't blame him, and that's the publisher's job to make sure they're being credited everywhere. I'm sure Raymond E. Feist is big enough where no, he doesn't know all the artists on all of his books. That's okay. My issue is with the publisher. The big lesson we should take away at the end here, I'm not really sure. And the next cover we're going to be talking about is coming to us from Orbit, and it is for Long Live Evil, with art by Sid Mills and design by Ben Pryor. This release from Sarah Reese Brennan is set to hit shelves July of 2024. Described as this adult epic fantasy debut from Sarah Renee Brennan puts the reader in the villain's shoes for a brilliant Holly Black adventure. And then for the final cover reveal we will be revealing today, we had the cover reveal for The God and the Kumiho by Sophie Kim. A sly contemporary fantasy inspired by Korean mythology and with a heart-pounding enemies to lovers romance. Big shout out to the cover artist, Sija Hong, who the author did credit in their announcement. Thank you, Sophie Kim. And here is the UK cover as well, with art from Kiri Hong. This is one of the few times I actually prefer the US cover. Both are great, but it's just nice as someone back across the pond who can say, finally, we have one that I like more. Usually the UK just stomps us, and I don't know why. And for fans of the enemies to lovers trope, I totally understand. Some of my favorite relationship dynamics throughout all of literature are enemies to lovers. But is it kind of frustrating that if you seek out that trope, it is always spoiled for you? Like, you can't see that and then be like, oh, I wonder what happens between these two. It's a problem that can't be solved. You can't seek it without spoiling it. It's tragedy. But that takes us out of the book news and into the Dune news, because we've had some promotional images released for the upcoming Dune Part 2. And while I did like these promotional images, my dumb brain was more interested in the Dune popcorn bucket we are apparently going to be getting with certain Dune theater showings, and that's a butthole. Just like practically, I don't want to be stuffing my hand in there, getting butter and salt all over the little tingly thingies, and then having to go back. It's a mess. There's gonna be butter up to your wrist. Ah, no.
Put your right hand in the box.
That's a no.
Your mother bade you obey me.
Okay. Also, I kind of want one. In our penultimate story of the day, we have a bit of quickie news, which is that the retro 90s anime for Berserk's remaster on Amazon was for a while above the likes of Oppenheimer in terms of its positioning for bestsellers from Blu-ray. As a big Berserk fan, that just made me happy, and also makes me want to say, please, for the love of God, get us a Berserk anime from beginning to end. It will be beautiful if it is done right, but that also brings us to our final story of the day, because it speaks to the importance of physical media. This has been quite the big topic recently here on YouTube, the importance of being able to actually own the media you consume. The general consensus among most consumers and people who know what they're talking about I have seen is that, yeah, we are heading into an age of digital media for sure, but we as consumers still do not want our favorite things to be able to just be taken from us as they leave streaming platforms, are erased from existence, and the idea of still being able to physically own something, even today, is vitally important, which means this next story involving Microsoft may contribute more to the future of the console wars, as the ferocity of the discussion around this topic is not going away, because Microsoft seems to be making major moves after laying off over 1,900 employees, including the team that is apparently responsible for development of retail products. There has already been leaks and rumors that there was going to be an all-digital version of the Xbox Series X released, and this falls in line with them not only trying to just mirror the digital-only version of the PlayStation that is out there, but probably trying to push a cost-cutting measure for them because it's absolutely more profitable for them for you to buy a game digitally than for them to have to make a box, which then encourages a resale market that they are not able to directly profit from. But this is only the smaller part of a larger story here that's been developing in the gaming space for quite some time. And I frankly am willing to admit, as someone who's only a casual gamer and certainly doesn't keep up with the industry news as well as many other YouTubers here, I'm not able to speak on this matter with the same authority that some will. So I will point you to a video linked in the description down below that does get into the wider elements to the story that I wasn't able to touch on, but just for me personally, yeah, I like to own physical copies of my game, and certainly in the agreements when I buy them digitally, I do not want those digital copies of the games to ever be able to be pulled from me, which a lot of these online stores are actually able to do to you. But it is also important to note this is speculation, leaks, and rumors from fairly credible sources, and just keep that in mind. But this has been your latest episode of Fantasy News. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here with ad rates at an all-time low. That is more important than ever, but if Patreon's not your thing, you can still late back my Kickstarter for the Neon Ghost physical hardback release, linked in the description down below. And again, thank you to Holtzkin for sponsoring today's Fantasy News. I am such a fan of their designs, and the shades are genuinely my favorite I have ever owned. So be sure to check them out, linked in the description down below, or go to their physical brick and mortar stores if you're in Austria or Germany. And don't forget to use my promo code Daniel15 for 15% off your purchase. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.